How you doing? Uh, Let me do a real quick sound and video check. Can you guys hear me? Is the video okay? Everything working all right? Hi, Derek. How you doing? Is the sound and the video okay? Seem to be working all right. Okay, good. Hi, Mark. How you doing? Ah, good. Um, hey, Forbin and Lee. How's it going, guys? You know, hi, Mr. Gumby and William. How are you, William Jr.? Good to see you. Um, it's looks good, doing fine. That's great. Hi, Hans. How are you? Uh, well, let's. One of the things I want to start with today. I don't know how well you can see this. I also put this on the High Horology Lounge. Hi, Javier. And so I had it up there. You know, it was been up there for a while. All of a sudden, this guy comes along and says the labels are wrong. And I thought, what? But he didn't say which ones. I mean, he could have said, you know, that's the number 2 wheel, and you've got it labeled the number 3 wheel or something like that, you know. But instead, he just says the labels are wrong. Doesn't say what they are. It's sort of like, you know, throwing a stink bomb in a car and walking away. It was like, so anyway, I asked the guy to explain himself, and he does. If he doesn't, I'm going to delete him. Because, you know, if there is something wrong, I'd like to know. And that's important. That's how we help each other, is correct mistakes. And I'm afraid I've got all of you beaten for making mistakes. So I'm good at it. Anyway, let's see. John and Marita, how you guys doing? Tony? Mark J, hi. Mark. Mark was one of the guys that we were talking the other day about, you know, getting this thing up and doing things with it, and I really wasn't sure what I wanted. Good, thanks on the sound and video. So anyway, here's the thing that I wanted to do is sort of some of you know this from this morning, but others don't. And let me sort of give you the backstory, as they say. That's what they say in Hollywood. The backstory. I forgot. I was talking. Maybe it was Mark. I don't know. We were talking about something or other. I thought, you know, what would be cool if we had a subscription. I had, you know, really like Marco Wang's new watch, the 2-sided watch. But you know, the thing is $70,000 or something like that. And I can't afford that, and most of us can't. So the whole idea of trying to have something by one of these really top of the, you know, top class watchmaker. I thought, well, you know, maybe they do this. Is that sort of make a collector's watch for us, so that we collectors could have something that was really good. I mean, it's like we since we care about things like the movement and so on and so forth, that it would be really cool if we had a neat watch. And the kind of watch that I thought would be really cool is that, and this is in a way it started with this, is that a watch that we could look at the back like this one, and we could see what was going on. You know, here you have the, you know, right down from the barrel, down through the gear train to the escapement to the balance wheel and back up and ticking and so forth. So all of these things, I thought, well, you know, we'll get something really simple, and I'll ask Marco, is that, you know, would you be interested in doing this on a subscription basis? And a couple other things I wanted that I thought would be cool, and this is from some of the other younger, actually, some of the younger watchmakers. This one guy from France, Nadeau, I think's his name. What he did, these guys, a lot of they're going right back to Breguet, to the kinds of things that he would use, and that I think is, without adding plastic or God knows what to a watch that's been done. So we could get one with a nice big balance wheel for stability, and the fact that Kerry Voot and Lawn and all of his has these great big balance wheels. And so I thought, well, okay, that would be neat. And one of the things that I found out, I think it was from those comments, is that one of the things that gets in the way of having the size of a balance wheel he talks about two things. One was a giant barrel, and the other one was the key works. Right here, you can see the amount of space that the key works takes up. And so instead of having key works, you just have a wind-up key. And I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but there was a talk about, who was it? Daniel's famous book, Watchmaking. All of those watches were keyed. He had a rant about people who wouldn't have a watch with a key in it. So that if you can't keep your key, you don't deserve to have the watch. I mean, Daniel's is a real character, a wonderful guy. In fact, I'm surprised that Roger Smith doesn't have coined up keys in all of his watches. But anyway, so I thought, wow, we could have that too. That'd be a cool thing. We are collectors, and none of us are, at least none I know, have a wind-up watch, except maybe an old pocket watch. So I thought, okay, so we could have that, and then we could have a bigger balance wheel, and then at the same time have these little things like this, these little finger bridges, and each one holding a different gear and a gear train. Man, this would be a cool watch to have. Let me greet people who just came. Hi, Abdul, Maurizio, Tony. Oh, hi, Phil. Okay, look. Hi, Kevin. Let me see. I want to make sure everybody. Hello, Donald. Okay, great. Okay, doke. So this is what I came up with. Now, what this is, the idea behind it is, I mean, I say, well, I don't like the looks of that. What's my drawing? I'm a terrible artist, all right? So bear with me and I'll explain what I did. Instead of using a rectangular shape, which would be fine, I put together something round, okay? And here's a great big balance wheel right here. And there's a flying bridge across it so that you've got a nice stable platform. Here's the escapement, and then here's the wheel train, and then up here is your barrel, which you wind up with a key. And so it's a very, very clean watch. And I thought, well, okay, so maybe they'll do this. Well, what happened was that I had written to Marco Lang, and he's a super nice guy, just a great guy. We had met a few years ago and had a real good interview with him about slower speeds, and all of his movements, I think, that he did with Langenheim were 2.5 hertz. Anyway, so I said, look, this would be something for a bunch of Rudy Poo collectors, and this would be a neat watch that we would appreciate, but we need one that we could afford. I mean, $70,000. Some of you guys, I guess, can afford it, but most of us can't. And so I got a really nice note back from him. He says, Bill, I can't do it right now because the kind of watches that he can make that they cost, 70, 80, God knows how much, that we cannot afford is what sort of a financial plan he worked out that seemed to be working pretty well. He made, I think, something like 15 of the two-sided watch. I think they sold out. I mean, just boom, just like that. So anyway, he said, but he said, maybe you could work out something. He said, I wouldn't mind working with you and Stefan Kadoki, who also lives in Dresden, and Richard Habring, who lives south of where they are in a little town in Austria. And so I thought, hey, this would be a cool thing. But before I said anything to him, I thought I better check with you guys. So that's what I'm doing right now. And if you think it's something we could go ahead with, and oh, by the way, too, they had to be under 9,500 Swiss francs. Uh, Again, one of the things that gets expensive is this sort of a bespoke movement. So that's all. I mean, like, we could have said, hey, you got something, that fell off the truck that we could have or something like that. But instead, I thought, well, let's get something that has this kind of movement display and go one better and have a bigger balance wheel and and then also have a key wind to it. So anyway, so that's where I am now. Let me show you a couple other things that were part of it. Now, one of the things that Marco did say, he said, I was thinking that UWD 31.1 movement that he made was sort of the one for collectors, but I don't know if he liked what what eventually came with it. But to me, it's we had talked about this before. Really a beautiful movement. He has these little guys right here, these little bridges holding all of the different the wheels in the gear train. And he did it in, I guess, 3 different kinds of metal at the time. But you can really see what's going on here. And this is something that I had in mind. But on the other hand, we got to be careful because, Marco is, he can't use those designs anymore because of, when he left Langenheim, he also left all of the movements that he had made there. And so he can't say, well, I'm going to go make them for myself. And, that doesn't work that way. Here's another view of the, really of what we're talking about. So we've got a barrel, and then your set of your wheel train going down to the escapement, to the pallet fork, to the hairspring, and so on and so forth, and finally keeping the time. But the thing of it is that if that's what is of interest, we ought to be able to see it. And so this is where this came from, is that everything is nice and clear and you can see it, and then you got this nice big fat wheel too. Okay, hi Javi. So what do you guys think? Yeah, Derek, you're right. It's in Bokelmark, and it's only not that far from Dresden. It's just south of it, not very far at all. Yeah, getting the attention. Forbid, yeah, I may have their attention. It may be something. There's that nut again bugging us. I don't know. Anyway, so okay. Uh-oh, there are trolls here. Go away, trolls. Okay, let's see. Okay, Abdul. Okay, maybe a skeleton dial. Mm, that's on the other side. I would prefer not. I mean, if you're going to be able to see it on the back, you can on the front. You can tell the time. That again, it's mainly because I don't like skeletonized watches, except looking at the back. But that's me. It may not be everyone. Um, Javier, I don't know who's been bothering you guys. There have, you know, just I haven't seen them. How they sneak away from me? I'll get them. Okay, the traditional watchmaking vibe. Yeah, yeah, Lee, that's sort of the idea. Two hand or three hand? Good question. Um, I never use the second hand, but a lot of people do. Uh, what I do if there's just two hands on the front, I just turn it over and see if balance is moving or not. Another thing that some people talked about earlier today was having a power reserve indicator, because this would definitely be a wind up with a key, and then put the key somewhere where you don't lose it. My suggestion would be is to wind it up in the morning. You're going to use it. Put the key in your case, and if you run out of juice, um, that's you better run home and get the key. I don't know. I guess it would have to have a charge of like maybe 36 or 48 hours, something, so you could wind it up and go out and about and not have to worry about it. Stainless knit precious metal, but I'm and if I can afford it. Yeah, no, this would, to me, it would be a stainless steel. The jump in prices with gold has become so ridiculous. It's just not worth it. Um, you pay, $20,000 for a watch. 10,000 of that is because they use gold, and the same watch you can get for 10,000 in stainless steel. I'm happy with stainless steel. Yeah, Forbin, you're right about that. Forbin points out that not a lot of people are going to buy it with a key. That's part of the point. You watch that thing become rare. That would be, I mean, what watch collector wouldn't like to have a watch like that with a nice big balance wheel, everything you can see? I don't know. To me, that would be the cool thing about it. Business wise, it's probably not the wisest thing in the world to do. If I were starting a watch company, I wouldn't do it. But on the other hand, see, if we set it up as a subscription, then you'd have some, that way you'd have certain types of commitments that we wouldn't have otherwise, and they don't want to be left hanging on a limb with a bunch of watches like that. Oh boy, a porcelain dial. Yeah, we'll get to the dial later. Two hands are enough power reserve. It'd be great to keep the key at home. Yeah, yeah, Abdul. That would be a good way of putting it. Maybe brass or silver movement. Okay. Well, what I was thinking is that we'll start with the basic, just exactly what we need, and then take a look at what would be coming, what we could add and what improvements could be made without going overboard, because you don't want to sink it. Um, so stainless steel. We got, by the way, too. Oh, so I got it right here. Where did I put it? Here it is. I got this stainless steel uh, case, and it was a lot more than what I usually pay for stainless steel cases. But it was nicely polished and really much different than my other stainless steel cases. And it's from Switzerland, and so I guess it was. I don't know where these guys get these things, but they probably get them from some source that we don't have access to. Uh, hey, Clyde, how you doing? It's good to see you, even if you are late. Um, Clyde, not again. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Enough of that. Behave yourselves. That was a long time ago. Let's see. Porcelain dials, officer's casebook, trench watch. That sounds interesting. Case back. Yeah. Um, these are interesting things. One of the things that somebody pointed out about a wind up is you probably want to have some cover over it, because, so gunk doesn't go in through the keyhole. In fact, you're going to need two keyholes, one for the wind up and one for setting the time. So that's something that is, that's not rocket science. I mean, it's nothing I could do, but for a watchmaker, that would be pretty straightforward. And then with the power reserve indicator, if if there was something like an enamel, a real enamel Grand Fou dial, or um, well, something like that. That would be something else. What I would be generally want to do is that this is not just for the movement. This is for the whole watch. And so we could ask them what would be, in turn, because the fancier we get, the higher the price. And so we got to watch that too, and ask ourselves, what is this watch about? And I see it as being more about this kind of movement. And you can have a fairly interesting dial on it. That's not a problem, but we got to be careful on that. The other thing too was the power reserve indicator. Put it on the back. Um, you could put it someplace like right here or something like that, or someplace where that would hit a gear, or maybe up here, and thing could run off of one of the, I don't know, whatever would be the best wheels that would run down the time. Clyde, no. uh, okay, yeah, I want a goat update, huh? Oh, my goats are wonderful. Trouble is, it's been so cold. I mean, it hasn't been above freezing for a couple days now. You can go out just to do anything, and real cold. Um, okay, um, a ceramic case. Well, Kevin, the thing is, why don't we? I don't know about ceramic case. This is the cases. Could whatever they say they think would be a cool case, a cold case. How's that? I don't. Like I said, I think the focal point. If we get the focus on the movement and the back of the watch, rather than starting with the dial. Now, if someone is thinking, well, what about resale? Forget about it. When I say forget about it, I don't mean that. I mean that's something for people who live in another world of appreciation of watches, which is basically, this is an investment. This would be totally a collector thing. Now, it could have some repercussions. It's like what, back about 20 years ago when Dufour started off, he said, okay, I'm going to make 20 watches or something. So they make 20 watches, and now they're all worth $1 million or something. If I don't think something like that would happen with these, but if it was a certain way, it might. So, I mean, but I don't look at it as an investment. I look at it as having a cool watch to have, and that's it. It's just something that would be cool. Yeah, let's see. Watches that sound pretty good. Okie doke. 83 and sunny here. Hey, Donald, how's your skin cancer coming, huh? You use all of this goop you have to. Uh, okay, all right. Gold is heavier than yes, yes. Okay. Big balance plus slow beat. Exactly, Matt. That's exactly what I'd like to see. Because already all of Marco Lang's are all 2.5 hertz. All of the A11 by Richard Hobring, those are all 4 hertz. And so this might be something fun for him. And I think Kadoki, Stefan's is 3 hertz. So, we have those three guys maybe get into a big fight. I don't know. I just think it'd be sort of a fun kind of thing. And the thing that would be different, because I also want to go back, when we can sort of breathe some more, back to the thing that we were doing with Agenor, because I think that would be super significant, having really a unique movement like that. Okay, what will we call it? I don't know. B, BS and FU. What kind of name is that, Clyde? Kadoki is A11 modified. Well, now maybe they could modify it. They'd have to modify it a lot for a nice big balance like that. But that might be something fun for them. I think the extent to which you can engage there's top tier AHCI watchmaker into this as a watchmaker thing, not just a bunch of collectors having fun, but also watchmakers doing something that they otherwise wouldn't do, but they would like to do. Okay. When I used to program, there was programs I had to do and they were dull. And then if I had a little extra time, I could do fun programs that, they were theoretical. And then later on, maybe I could use some parts of them. But that is what I would hope to see here. Have these guys say, "Hey, everybody wants these clodhopper type of boom, boom, boom kind of movements. This thing. I think it'd be very interesting now. I think the extent to which we sort of partner with them and not as a legalistic company thing, but rather as sort of an adventure in watchmaking. How does that sound? So, listen, the name I was thinking was, but not with me. I was thinking we could have MRNS for Mark, Richard, and Stefan, or we could have it. Let's see, that would be um, L for Marco Lang, LH and K, LH and K, something like that. That might be a neater name. TGT, MKH2. That's sort of cool too, Abdul. I like that. Yeah, have something. Anyway, this ought to be something fun. I get like, it just MRS is a watch for the missus. Yeah, I know. That was the problem with those initials in that order. I did it in alphabetical order for them and came up with MRS. You could come as MR and S. So Mr. and Sister. I don't know. Could we get Marco to link up with you live one night? Maybe we could do that. I need a special kind of I need that thing that Clyde uses in his videos where they have the duck. They have all these people. I'd have to mess around with that for a while. It's funny because years ago I wrote programs that with videos that did that. They did everything, but they also ate up all the bandwidth. So that was another story. Hi Thomas, how you doing? Um, oh man. Okay. Yeah, if they're willing to do it. Now but the thing is that before I went ahead, I said, hey, so let me ask you. We did this earlier today. If you like the idea, if it's something that you would be willing to subscribe to, pop a thumbs up there. If not, then don't put anything. Because we had some this morning, and so just to get an idea. No? StreamYard, that's it. That's the one, Clyde, I'm thinking of. I don't, Foreman, I don't know how large the key is. I'm not a watchmaker. someone someone this morning says, I lose the key. Okay. But just like um uh George Daniels said, if you can't keep a key, you don't deserve to have the watch. I thought that was so funny. Hi, John. Hey, Tippy. Oh man. Okay. Well, listen in. I'll tell you what. Between now and next week, I'll go ahead and contact them, and and say, hey, we got enough people. I guess between this group and what we have before, we've got around 20 people that we could that would Go ahead. Um, it has a combination. I'm sorry, Forbin. I still don't understand you. Hi, what's up, Jan? Okay, Richard. Good. Attach the key to the large piece of wood like a truck stop bathroom. That's a great idea. Um, that's a really good idea. Or attach it to your best non-key wound watch, so you don't want to lose either one of them. Okay, guys. Well, listen. Got to run. My time is up. The Getting the high sign, and so think about this and any ideas you have. Let me know. And Abdul, there are no weekends. Every day is the same, but I will take care and be safe. And I got my first shot. I hope everybody else who can get your shot as soon as you can. And take care. Be safe. Wear your mask. Social distance. Do all the good things. Take care.